start the camera yet. You ready, please?
Yeah.
Good evening. It is 6 o'clock on October 22nd, 2020. This is the Vernon Hills Park District Board of Commissioners regular board meeting. Could I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Kessler? Here. Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Moline?
Here.
Commissioner Blue? Present. President Dorhopper?
Here, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it would be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus vote agenda for this evening are the minutes of the regular board meeting dated September 24th, 2020, and the payables and payroll through October 22nd, 2020 in the amount of $461,774.61. Could I have a motion to approve the omnibus vote agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler? Yes. Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dorhopper?
Yes, next item on the agenda is the financial reports for the period ending September 30th, 2020. Marla, are there any changes to, where is Marla? Hello, Marla. Are there any changes to the financial reports as they currently are on file?
All good, thank you.
Very good. Next item is the welcome to visitors, guests, public comment period. I'd like to invite Christine Cole to the podium to make her presentation from Gray Star Development.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much. I'm Christine Propp. I'm the Senior Director with Gray Star. We are under contract on a property in the village and wanted to, Jeff and Commissioner were gracious enough to allow us to come and present a little bit about the project.
If you'd like to take your mask off, you're welcome to.
Yeah, we're
Since
socially
you're-
distant.
Since you're socially distant.
Okay. It's so hard, thank you. So I'm Christine Cobb. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the project that we have under contract right now near the intersection of Route 60 and 21 in Vernon Hills. I'm also joined this evening by Yael Diekman, our Managing Director of the Chicago office of Gray Star. And we'll just go ahead and launch right in. So you are all likely familiar with the abandoned theater at 555 Lakeview Parkway. It's the former AMC 8. It's been vacant since about 2018, and it is right adjoining to an approximate 4.5 acre parcel that's owned by Curasotes, which was the theater operator prior to AMC. So you know the theater's been vacant for a couple years. The Curasotes lot has actually been going to tax auction regularly since 2016, and clearly this use in the village, in this vibrant sort of retail intersection, is not really the highest and best land use. So we're excited when this kind of crossed our desk about a year ago as an opportunity to acquire and redevelop the site. It is located in Continental Executive Business Park. Significant about that is the underlying zoning for this site really just entitles industrial or office. And we are moving through the process with the Village of Vernon Hills right now to re-entitle the site to allow for what we have proposed as a active adult community, which is age restricted to 55 plus, 188 units, the majority of which would be located in a 4-story building at the center of the site and wrapped around Lakeview Parkway with 7 duplex single-story cottages. So we find this to be a very creative infill use for this location and really presents a significant investment to the Village of Vernon Hills, which we're very excited to make, and we've been working very closely with the village staff, as I mentioned, to kind of bring this to fruition. Big picture, what's most unique about this project is that it's age restricted, it is that it's a creative infill use. It's also that we're trying to do the impossible these days, which is actually invest, finance, and build a project of this magnitude without any type of TIF support. We are very close in achieving that goal, but we do need some sort of relief wherever possible. So part of the conversations with Mark Flesheimer at the village and village staff have been relief on impact fees. That's something that, you know, we think we have a strong case here for. Again, the sort of benefits of this property, we pulled the taxes from the existing uses. They're contributing to the park district specifically only about $4,000 a year. When we look at our stabilized value of this type of investment, that number will grow tenfold. And that's just based on today's tax rates and levy. So not only are we bringing a vacant and abandoned property onto the tax rolls, we're doing so with what will arguably be the highest possible taxable use. And we're doing this unique zoning where it would otherwise be an industrial and business park, which would not contribute to the village in the ways that a multifamily development typically contributes. And then, of course, most importantly, we're not seeking TIF. We don't intend to burden the property and the taxing bodies for the duration of 23 plus years that you see, which is, it really is, when you think about, you know, Melody Farm and the Atworth receiving $20 million of TIF, the amount of money that Hawthorne Mall is going to seek, which we don't know the answer to yet. We are very sympathetic to those causes, and we're very happy that we're in a position that we're close to not having to be in that same bucket, but we are seeking some sort of creative partnership. So I spoke with Jeff earlier last week to try to understand if we could come and present a case to you. We still do want to contribute to the park district in some way, and one of the ideas that we had was basically taking the over 3 acres at the south end of the site and really using that as an opportunity to preserve open land, which is very consistent with the park district's mission to improve that land and then explore a donation in lieu of a fee. We've spent some time just preliminarily looking at what that vision could be with the Lakota group. I know Jeff had mentioned that there's some sensitivity about just receiving land that's a detention pond. In this case, the overall acreage is over 3 acres and the lawn space is over 2 acres. And we think that there could be a creative opportunity to interject green space and open space and park space into an area that is otherwise pretty heavily built around. It could be a benefit for the employees, the retail shoppers in the area, as well as the patrons of the restaurant, the hotel to our south, eventually our development as well. And we think that it has all the elements that could really be a very successful public-private partnership. So that is what we are here for today to speak with you about. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here, and we would look forward to any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions? Nothing?
I saw this one.
And what questions did you have last night?
They were not about that.
When is the project slated to go?
Right now, we're hoping to commence construction in second quarter of 21 next year.
And what are the proposed impact fees right now?
The proposed impact fees are, for the park district, approximately $675,000.
We're going to talk about this.
Completely understand and really appreciate any consideration that you can provide.
Perfect. Thank you so very much.
Thank you all.
Next item on the agenda is unfinished business, and seeing as we have none, we're so efficient we get it all done. We move to new business. I'd like to invite Matt Vernon from Lauterbach and Ammon to show us the 2019 audit presentation. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
little bit.
Yes, thanks for having me here tonight. Matt Barrett with partners at Lauterbach and Amon here to present the audit for May 31st, 2020. Does everyone have hard copies, bound copies with them? Okay. I'll take us through the presentation, walk us through certain pages so you guys can see what I'm looking at, but I'm going to keep it at a high level, and please feel free at any point in time if you have questions to ask them. I'd be happy to answer. So, as far as what we have here tonight to present on are two documents, one being the audit report and the other is the management letter. So with the audit report, that's the thicker of the bound documents with your nice logo here in the front. I'm going to take us up forward to, I believe it's the page 6 is the first page I'd like to take us to. The district can receive the Certificate of Achievement Award for last year's audit report. That's why the award is in here. We are going to be presenting this audit report to the GFOA for the Certificate of Achievement, and see no reason why the Park District will be receiving this award again for this year's audit report, for this year's audit report. 3 pages forward from there is the opinion page. It's on page 9. It has a Lauterbach and Amon letterhead on it. This is the main thing that you get from us as your auditors, is this opinion page. We gave the Park District an unmodified opinion again this year. It's the highest opinion that we give as auditors. What we're saying with that is basically 3 things. 1, the numbers within this report are what we say they are based on the testing that we did. 2, the audit report's compliance with all government accounting standards. And the Park District has an adequate internal control framework in place. From there, 3 pages forward up to page 12 is the MD&A. This is the management discussion analysis. What this section is a narrative summary of everything that's within this audit report, puts it at a high level so you can read what happened at the Park District during the year rather than flipping through all 150 pages or whatever is in here, which I know Bruce enjoys to do, but we can just read here a few pages. Since I'm going to be covering that within my presentation, let's flip on past this. I'd like to take us all the way up to pages 31 and 32. On pages 31 and 32, these are your fund level financials. So fund level financials, their balance sheet here, these are the level of financials that you budget on, that you get presented on a monthly basis, is here at this level. Far right-hand column is your totals across all of your funds. Second number up at the bottom, we have a total fund balance across all of your funds of $3.1 million. Of which I'm going to focus tonight on my presentation on all of those 3 funds over on page 31, the general fund, recreation, and Lakeview Fitness, since they're your most significant funds here at the Park District. General fund at the end of the year, which is your main operating fund, had about $1 million of fund balance. Recreation fund is $2.3 million, and Lakeview Fitness at the end of the year is at a minus 1.2. So how did we do this year? Let's go forward to pages 35 and 36. On pages 35 and 36, this is your income statement here for these funds. Again, like to take us to the far right-hand column, your totals. Third number up on the bottom, across all of your funds in the Park District, we had a total loss this year of $740,000. I'm sure you guys were prepared and ready for this. Obviously, there's been some significant impact to the Park District over these last few months, but this is where we ended up at minus $740,000. How this happened is we go across the main reasons for this. Capital project fund, we had a total decrease in fund balance in capital project because of the significant capital projects we had here with the new skate park and the futsal court that occurred during the year. And then going over to page 35 where we see the real significant actual impacts as well as far as your operations go. General fund itself remained relatively intact. Revenues stayed consistent with budget. Expenses were slightly below budget, or by about $50,000 to lead to a $223,000 increase. Recreation and Lakeview Fitness, I'm going to talk about those just together because they were impacted the same way because of the pandemic. Revenues across both of them ended up being down about $1.2 million. Expenses, though, also were able to be decreased as well because of the lack of programming during that point. As you can see, where we ended up at the end of the year for Recreation and Lakeview Fitness of minus $175,000 and minus $350,000 respectively. Obviously with Lakeview Fitness, this is continuing to push that fund in the hole. As far as the other two funds though, when we're comparing how healthy fund balances are, we compare fund balances back to the expenditures at a percentage basis. General fund is at 47%, which is a very positive number, as well as recreation is at 65%. So both of those funds are sitting in healthy positions. Any questions about the financials before we talk about the management letter?
Any questions?
Yes.
Just
Commissioner
one,
Robbins?
do have one question on the kindergarten building.
Yep.
We're still holding some money in escrow that
Yep.
we haven't dispersed yet.
Yes.
Now, that's not shown here. Is that shown as an other liability on the
It's sitting in deferred
balance sheet?
revenue on the balance sheet. So it's being held, so your fund balance is sitting at zero. So until payments are actually made, the offsetting side is the deferred revenue.
Right,
Okay.
so you don't need to show that under the kindergarten building.
It is over on page 32. In the other payables line, that's where deferred revenues are going now, on page 32. So we have the
I
cash
see. Mm-hmm.
that's
I got
sitting up there, yep.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Management letter.
Management letter, so what the management letter is, this is other information we'll provide to management. So items that we saw is when we did the audit report. Basically, I like to break these comments up into 3 different types of comments that when we give them. 1 being informational, 2 being best practices that we see in the industry, and 3 being true internal control issues that we identified during the audit. As we go through, we had 3 management letter comments, none of which would be internal control issues that we noted. So that's the biggest thing I want to communicate to you as far as how the management letter is, that there were no internal control issues identified during our walkthrough testing, that the park district had an adequate internal control framework in place that did not require communication for a management letter comment. As far as the 3 that we do have, I would consider them all informational types. First one being a new accounting standard that is going to be out in a couple of years, GASB 87, which relates to leases that will be helping the park district implement into their audit report. And the other 2 are basically intertwined with the Lakeview Fitness and Family Aquatic being funds with deficit fund balances and funds that don't reach your fund balance policy. Obviously, you guys are aware of where those funds are at, so I'm not breaking any news to you, but just there are things that we have to communicate to you as the board when you do have funds that are in deficit positions like this. Any questions about the management letter?
No, very straightforward.
Before I do leave the podium, I would like to thank Marla and her team for all their hard work during the audit. It was a smooth process despite the circumstances that we had to deal with. The full audit package was ready when we came out. Questions were answered prompt and timely as we went through, and really appreciated working with Marla again during the audit. We missed working with her the last few years.
Thank you very much. Very nice. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to adopt the CAFR for the fiscal year ending May 31st, 2020?
So moved.
Second? Discussion? Roll call.
Is there discussion?
No discussion. Did you have some? Oh, I'm sorry, Bruce.
I just want to say that I spent time reviewing the audit, the management letter, and came up with no issues this year. I want to let the commissioners know that.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Blue?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler? Yes. Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Dormer?
Yes, next item on the agenda is the 2021, can't come soon enough, Park Board meeting schedule. Do I have a motion to adopt the 2021 Park Board meeting schedule?
So.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Blue? Commissioner Kessler? Yes. President Dormer?
Yes. The next item is the IAPD annual business meeting credential. Could I have, I need volunteers for the Park District to be the delegate and the alternate for the meeting on Saturday, January 30th, streamed live at 3:30.
nominate Jim.
You're out of town, right?
When is it?
January.
I mean, if we were desperate, I could certainly do it more. It's virtual, right?
Yeah. You're in Thompson?
I'm not sure if I'm going to be in town, but if it's virtual, can I still do it? I don't need to be,
Yeah, the whole meeting is gonna be
so
virtual.
it doesn't matter. if
You
I'm
could
in
be
town.
wherever you're at.
Okay.
And I could do the same thing. I mean,
We just
whatever,
need-
if you want to do
we
it,
need a
yeah, it's fine.
delegate
If you want me to
for
do it,
that.
I'm more than happy to do it.
Okay, can I approve a motion to approve Commissioner Dorhofer for as the IAPD business meeting delegate and Commissioner Moline as the first alternate?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Moline,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Blue,
Absolutely.
President Dorhofer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of this. Next item is the SCC asphalt bid award recommendation. Can I have a motion to award the SEC FAC asphalt bid to Schroeder Asphalt with the amount of $81,870?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Blue,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Moline,
Yes.
President Dorhofer.
Yes. Commissioner Blue, could you join me up at the podium, please?